Welcome back to Beyond the Cage, everyone. I'm Gabe Benchamal. So a very big announcement was made by the UFC's golden boy Conor McGregor about his rumored return to MMA. But before I show you that, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification button to make sure that you never miss a Beyond the Cage video. Now let's get into Conor's surprise message.
Ladies and gentlemen, a happy new year to you all. I'd like to announce the return date for myself, the notorious Conor McGregor, for the greatest comeback of all time. Will take place in Las Vegas for International Fight Week on June the 29th. Come a little closer. And the opponent, Michael Chandler. And the weight, Mr. Chandler, 185 pounds.
So Conor McGregor is fighting Michael Chandler on June 29th, International Fight Week. At middleweight? Middleweight, as in 185 pounds. I was expecting maybe 170, but 185 was definitely not my guess. I mean, he did say on The Ultimate Fighter that he wanted to fight at 185 pounds, and Michael Chandler did agree. I thought he was joking, but he was dead serious, it appears. So let's break down why Conor wants to fight at 185 instead of his proper weight class of 155. And actually, there's a whole host of reasons. The first reason is that simply he could do whatever the hell he wants. The UFC have been frothing at the mouth to get Conor McGregor back into a fight since he got injured. Because let's be real, when Conor's fighting, everyone wins. People love to watch Conor loves to fight, and the UFC makes a lot of money from Conor fighting. If Conor tells the UFC, I want to fight at 185 pounds, the UFC will do it. And so will Michael Chandler, which leads me to my next point. Michael Chandler wants that Conor McGregor payday. A win over Conor McGregor at 185 won't really do much for his trajectory towards a title at 155. If he really wanted to make a run for the lightweight championship, he should have fought guys like Arman Tsarukyan and Mateusz Gamrot, Rafael Fiziev if he really wanted to prove that he was the best lightweight on the planet. Because a statement win over one of those guys is definitely a pathway to a title shot. A great example is when Justin Gaethje fought Rafael Fiziev. He proved that he's still one of the best lightweights on the planet, and then helped him secure a fight with Dustin Poirier, and with that knockout of Dustin Poirier, he's in a really good chance for a third title shot. So for Chandler to set out all of 2023 to fight Conor really means that he wants to do it for financial and career incentives. I think you saw how Dustin Poirier vastly grew his career from fighting Conor twice in 2021 and wanted to replicate in the same manner. The third reason why Conor doesn't want to fight at 185 is simply he doesn't want to cut the weight. He knows he could drag any 155er to come up to 185 to fight him because of the massive financial incentives for his opponent. A Conor McGregor main event fight nowadays is an automatic 1 million pay-per-view buys. But remember, it takes 2 to tango, which means that his opponent will definitely capitalize on those pay-per-view bonuses. I wouldn't be surprised if he drags Charles Oliveira up to 185 if he beats Michael Chandler. Charles has been wanting that fight with Conor for a long time now too, and Conor likes a good challenge. McGregor is the only fighter that can do this because he brings in so much money for the UFC. He could jump around weight classes and bring up or down whomever he wants because his opponents all want that red panty night. And that leads me to my fourth and final reason. Conor wants to be the first fighter to secure knockouts at 4 different weight classes. This one might be a little far-fetched, but he does take pride in being one of 2 fighters to secure knockouts in 3 different weight classes. The only other fighter that has done that is Jared Cannonier when he secured knockouts at heavyweight, light heavyweight, and middleweight. Conor has always said that he wants to look back at his career and just make it a massive highlight reel. But the issue with Conor McGregor is we don't know what his end goal is. Which belt does he want to compete for? Is he going to stay in one weight class or compete in a variety of weight classes? There's just so many questions that need to be answered that no one knows the answer to. And also one major thing about this whole announcement that people are just not seeming to bring up is that the UFC and Dana White haven't confirmed any of this information. No posts, no retweets, not even a like on any of the posts by the two of them. Complete radio silence on the part of Dana White in the UFC. Dana White is probably on vacation somewhere right now, but to not acknowledge your biggest athlete in your promotion's history's biggest announcement in a long time is pretty absurd to me. The whole situation with this announcement has just been very odd. That's why I've kind of waited to make this video, because there hasn't been any other information apart from this announcement video by Conor. And we all know how reliable Conor is when it comes to his career announcements. I mean, Chandler has been responding to the announcement, so I guess it's legit, but I find it so weird that the UFC hasn't confirmed any of this. Now, in terms of the actual fight, this is where it gets a little weird, because all of Conor's best attributes that made him successful at the lower weight classes are not necessarily going to help him when he fights at 185. Yes, with the increased body mass, it will definitely make him more powerful. And fighters like Dustin Poirier have said that Conor McGregor is one of the hardest hitting punchers he's ever faced. But with Conor's increased power comes a massive reduction in his stamina. Conor McGregor will have to pace himself considerably if Michael Chandler game plans accordingly. The second variable that Conor is going to have to deal with is his fast twitch muscle fibers. Please Please someone correct me if I'm wrong, but the more mass you gain on your body, the slower your fast twitch muscle fibers will be. And a main component of Conor's striking game is his speed and precision. Now you might be thinking, if Conor's coming up to 185, doesn't that mean that Michael Chandler's stamina and power are going to change as well? And yes, you'd be 100% correct. However, Chandler has one big attribute about his game that Conor McGregor doesn't simply use all that much, and that's obviously Michael Chandler's Division 1 wrestling. If Chandler actually goes for entries that make sense instead of spamming takedowns like Merab Dvalishvili, I can see him winning this fight. He's had favorable matchups in the past where he could have utilized his wrestling to win rounds and to win fights, but he just didn't use it, specifically in both the Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier fights. So if Chandler decides to replicate how he's fought in the Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje match, I'm probably going to favor Conor McGregor in that case. Chandler sometimes decides to go wild and throw big looping overhand strikes that gas him out considerably. Conor is a much more precise striker, and he could potentially pick off Chandler if he decides to overextend and throw overhand looping shots. But either way you slice it, it's going to be an amazing fight. Everyone has spoken how their first round could be one of the greatest first rounds in MMA history. So there's pretty much a guarantee that everything from the build up to the press conference to the actual fight will be pure entertainment. If you enjoyed this video, go hit that like, subscribe, notification button to see more content like this. I'm Gabe Benchimol, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.